Welcome, guys, once again to the MMOs.com podcast. This is episode 98 now, and this is Altai, joined this week by...
Omer,
Gumble,
Matt,
Australia.
Full House.
We got the entire MMOs.com crew today, and we have a great podcast for you guys this week. But before we get to some of the silly stuff, Gumby, take it away with the weekly raid.
All right, this week's weekly raid is a little more practical. We're talking about multitasking while we play games. I think we're all guilty of it, or at least I assume we're all guilty of it. So maybe I'm an asshole. We'll find out. I know that when I play certain MMORPGs, I can't help but watch something while I'm playing. I binge watched all of The Wire while grinding in Final Fantasy XIV. When Burning Crusade came out and I only had one monitor, I would play WoW in the top half of my screen. I would watch Indiana Jones and home movies on the bottom half. And I'm curious if this is something most people do. Are we all multitasking now when we play games? And I remember, I think back to the past, it's not something I ever did before. It happened around, 2010, 9, somewhere around there. I started multitasking all the time. And I wonder, and so my first question is, do you multitask? And then I think we can follow up with it is, does that point to an issue? And actually I said in the comments here, because someone had already left us a reply, that sometimes when I judge a game, I think about whether or not I'm so engaged by it that I don't multitask or I don't watch something while I'm playing at all. And that doesn't happen too often. Actually, it normally happens when a game has amazing music, and then I feel compelled to not do anything else, like, say, a sound temp game like Tree of Savior. So I figure, well, whoever wants to start, just tell me, do you multitask? And then do you think it's a problem or no big deal, just a natural thing we all do no matter what we're doing?
I'll go first because this will be short. No, I don't multitask. I invest all of my attention onto a game for the most part, except for since I have the second monitor now, I'll get distracted by Discord or something every now and then. When I watch out of the corner of my eye, I see a message. That's not really multitasking because I stop and I look at it. I don't multitask because I don't know. I have this obsessive thing when I'm watching shows where I have to go back if I miss shit, like a significant portion of it. So I don't like multitasking because I don't like missing that.
I can respect that. Good choice.
And I don't. But I don't think it's necessarily a problem. I mean, some people are only happy if they're doing 5 million things at once. But I think it points to, especially with MMOs, it points to a lack of active decision making being made in a game that you can divert your focus to something else while you're playing it. That's a problem on the game design end maybe, but not on the people end.
All right, I think some games are better lended to multitasking and different processes in a game. Leveling when I have 14, I actually ended up watching quite a bit of, if I remember correctly, 30s Rock. That was a very
Really?
multitaskable show too, because I feel like you can't watch every show on multitasking because you lose attention, right? So if a show requires to kind of follow the plot development throughout the whole thing, I feel like you'd miss out a lot. So I feel like comedies, I feel like I can do while playing games, and more RPG specifically while leveling up. Dungeon content is going to require a little more attention if you're raiding, not really pug groups, but when you're raiding, it requires more attention, so you can't. But the leveling process, I feel like it can be improved by multitasking and watching TV shows. But because I have a little pet peeve of mine when I'm watching a serious show, a little more serious, that's not a comedy. Comedy is the only show I don't really, I can watch while doing something else. If I'm watching a more serious show, it does require my full attention. Because and my pet peeve is when I watch shows with other people, I get peeved when they don't get they don't get their full attention to it. I feel like I gotta always watch what I'm watching, and I want people watching it with me to be always watching at the same time. So they may fiddle with their phone if they're sitting next to me. I'll be triggered on the inside. I hate them.
Saying, you don't want to hear this.
Yeah. Yes, my mind is blown when somebody and it applies to certain situations in gaming as well. If somebody is distracted while gaming and it's a detriment, it pisses me off. It doesn't happen too much in MMORPGs again because honestly, outside of raid content, you never need your full attention. I'm talking difficult raids, any kind of dungeons in most games. Yeah.
If you're playing World of Warcraft, I mean.
Yeah. There's no attention required there unless you do heroic raids. It's different. There were mythic raids, but I remember when I was in League, for example. I play with Witchy once in a while, and one thing is like, I'm doing my thing in late, and I hear typing. I'm like, why is there typing going on in a freaking League game? And I'm playing with like 2 friends on Discord too, like 3 friends. We're all on Discord together, and someone's typing, and it's not in game. And I just see them like sitting at tower, freaking AFK, typing on a different window in Discord or somewhere else. And I'm thinking, how do you do this? Like, what are you doing? You're missing CS so you can type somewhere else and potentially losing me the game. I don't know. It nags me when people do it in a game like League or Overwatch or Dota that requires your attention. And it grinds me up on the inside a little bit, but I'm usually not gonna say anything because I don't want to be rude or anything.
This is why Omar doesn't play with me. When I played Dota 2, like I used to play like 8 games a day for like years. I'd picked Ricky as my main, mainly because Ricky goes invisible. He's permanently invisible when he's not attacking. And the reason I picked him originally is so I can go AFK in the middle of the lane and just type or browse the web, and I won't die because I'll just be AFK standing still. So Witchy, I'm with you. I respect that. Even in a MOBA, I'll just and when I had one monitor, I would just alt tab and just do what I gotta do.
You're the worst. You're the worst. That's all there is to it. You're the worst. I mean, MMORPGs though, I think multitasking is perfectly fine. I think a lot of people do it, and it's understandable because it doesn't require your full attention. It's not a pressing concern. You're not a detriment to your team usually because if you're doing solo content, it's definitely no detriment. If you're in a dungeon, yeah, you might be hurting DPS a bit, but as long as you're not wiping, it's no big deal.
I still think that again points to a problem with MMORPG game design that you can multitask and
Okay,
still
that's my
succeed.
cue. All right, that's my cue.
What happened, sure.
Give it up.
All right, so I can kind of see like both sides of this. So while I agree that it can be an issue in showing that there is a lack of things to do, a lack of decision making in games, which causes you to be able to do this to begin with, right? I feel like especially in MMOs, like which have a high time requirement. So if you compare like an MMO to like say Battlegrounds, because with Battlegrounds you can just hop in and play whenever you want, right?
Mm-hmm.
MMO, especially if you're playing with friends. I mean, we've talked about this issue before where you have to stay caught up with your friends, otherwise you fall behind. So there's just a huge constant time investment with MMOs, right? So like leveling up in the game. A lot of people, I feel, want to invest their time in multiple things because you still want to watch like a show. Friends are watching the latest, like still want to watch that, but at the same time they want to play the game. So I mean, maybe it's just there's more like casualness, I guess, in a lot of games that they want to manage of that.
Basically, screw people that multitask in competitive games. All right.
Man, you guys take this game so serious. Oh.
Yeah, but competitive, but I mean, with an MMO, when you're just grinding, maybe it's okay to have.
Yeah, I agree. It's perfectly okay then.
I guess it depends on the game though, because I guess could you do that in Blade and Soul?
Yes, while you're grinding 100%, no problem. Because you have your rotations down pat, and the regular outside of dungeons, especially, you might die in dungeons if you don't pay attention, even like the easy dungeons. But if you're just leveling up and like grinding stuff, yeah, it's very easy to do.
Man, but then again, saying that makes me think about those Chinese games that you autoplay.
But those are to the point where they're literally like actually that's a good point bringing that up because a lot of MMORPGs like Ragnarok Journey is one. Of course, all roads lead to Ragnarok. But so many mobile and browser games today and big browser MMORPGs like these are mega successful games have auto playing features, including Naruto Online, which I did a second look video for last week. I mean, these games are enormous. They have millions of players, 800 plus, like 500 plus servers on Naruto Online, and so much of the content is auto played. To the point where the game is basically telling you, go do something else. We don't need your attention here. Like, you'd be silly to basically give that game your full attention. There's literally no need to. So you have to multitask unless you're like the most patient person in the world. So I feel like more games are leaning towards, I guess, encouraging lack of, engagement or something. I don't know. But I don't think, yeah, go ahead.
Maybe games should implement like 2 routes to their leveling, like one for more active players. I think a game that did this really well was Terra. So with Terra, you had like the trash mobs that you could just kill without thinking about it, and then you had the BAMs, right? And both of them were like viable methods of leveling. maybe something like so you have one way that's like a little bit faster for people that really like the active style, and then you have like the no brain style for people that kind of want to multitask. So maybe going towards that, you can hit both at the same time and have people switch between, because like even with me, while I do like the active gameplay more of like fighting BAMs, like there are some occasions where you're like, I'm gonna watch the show, give me something else to watch while I'm watching that.
That's fair.
Well,
I think you mentioned in your weekly rate too, Civ was a great game for multitasking.
Oh yeah, I mean Civilization is the king. Civilization, you can do. I used to leave it on another monitor and just do whatever I had to do throughout the day and go back, make my turn, come back. So it's because Civ is more like a board game. So there's no, I think, games that cater to less active elements. Doesn't necessarily mean they're worse or better or anything, but they allow you to get other things done. And in some cases, I like that. Like when I was a student, that was the best because I could get some work done and still play a game throughout the day.
I mean, in the end of the day,
Civ,
go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh,
I was just
Someone take it.
I was going to say, at the end of the day, multitasking won, because with the growth of multiple monitors, borderless window being like the default now, basically, yeah, basically everyone is going to be multitasking. Things like Twitch, watching a stream while you play, that's pretty popular. I do that sometimes. So, whether you guys find it frustrating or not, I think that's going to be the norm going forward.
I do feel like people have lost something, and myself included, like our willingness to dedicate to one thing. I think in the pursuit of doing more things at once, I feel like we lost a bit of our humanity, of our attention span, of our dedication.
Well, this isn't just an issue in games.
No, this goes a bit further too. I think it is kind of, it manifests itself in the games we play today, from the idle games. I feel like the rise of idle games, even clicky clickers and auto playing browser games over the last few years, and even the client MMORPGs that have become so easy that didn't require any kind of decision making and difficulty. You cannot wipe in so many games, and the rise of casualness in games, I think, is a reflection of just our attention span is lost. Our willingness to do one thing is lost. The games are almost designed to be balanced around being 90% AFK mentally. But I mean, that's the only reason that explains the easiness in a lot of games.
You're assuming we got attention span went down. Maybe the market is discovering that we always preferred this.
Yeah,
and now, and the products are getting better suited to our natural attention span, which is like minutes or seconds.
I think it's more like the market is getting more Skinner, and it's just throwing more shiny shit in our faces to distract us. That's my belief. If anyone is interested in this stuff, though, there's a ton of research out there. This isn't really MMOs.com on distraction, because we are increasingly distracted in our day and age, not just in games, but everywhere. A lot of fun stuff.
Actually, MMOs.com has published at least three peer-reviewed articles on this topic. And
wow.
We have new researchers on board. We got the whole cachet of academic intellectuals on the MMOs.com team.
I was just going to say, I think a lot of
neurosurgery. Go ahead.
Again, Matt.
I was just going to say, I think a lot of it comes back to our obsession with being able to do every instead of focusing on what I like to do.
Yep.
All right.
That's our multitasking bit over here. I want to hit
you
up.
Guys leave a comment.
Actually, let's talk a little about April Fools. It was this last week, and we had some great content on MMO. Let's just run through April Fools real quick, because I thought a lot of it was really good. I think Gummy, you wrote a bit of stuff. You wrote most of it, so just maybe hit the ones you like.
You want me to? Oh man, I wasn't prepared for this. So on April Fools, I had been looking forward to April Fools all year. I even had an Excel sheet with some ideas, and then April Fools rolled around, and we just went right for it. A lot of these ideas came out of our little meetings that we have. I thought this one was funny. Omer also made an April Fool's joke post, and that one did quite well on the old Reddit. We'll get to that in a second. This one, we put this out here that Overwatch removed the defeat screen and replaced it with the number 2. A few people actually believed it. Actually, my favorite thing of today is we had a post I did called Blizzard finally is going to release Legacy servers. It was actually picked up by one of our competitors or friend sites in the business, and they deleted the post, but I can take a screenshot. I'm getting that screenshot right now.
Pretty hilarious.
And they,
This is
you know,
one way-
they did get a laugh out of it. They told them on Twitter, and you know, I was happy to have tricked them.
We
A
got
few
him.
people took things seriously. We do have a post. It's a Happy April Fool's Day post, and I put some comments. I'll put that up. We got a few really nice comments from people around the MMO sphere. One was "kill yourself," which when you translate it on Facebook, we write KYS. That says "kiss." I thought that was great. A lot of people thought Omer's Wildstar joke was the worst April Fool's prank of all time. I
Wow.
guess some people are a little sensitive. My personal favorite, though, I'll end it here too. If you want to see more of the April Fool's stuff we did, it's currently at the bottom of page 3 on MMOs.com, because of course it was Saturday. I thought this was the funniest thing. It was Hi-Rez announces a new MMORPG, World of Smitecraft, because if you follow Hi-Rez Studios at all, they just look at what's successful in the market, whether it's a mobile game or, you know, a hero shooter. They pretty much just copy it, and then they pretend that they came up with it. I mean, it's okay to, you know, take what you see as successful and go in your own direction, but you don't have to act like you're the original genius there. And this one did quit it pretty well too. So I had a lot of fun. One person left a comment that said, "You like to go overboard?" Yes, I do. So if you follow the site in the future, expect every April Fool's to be a full front page of BS, because that's what I love. And I hope you guys found it funny, or if you got offended, I guess that's too bad, because I wouldn't stop.
Great Photoshop work, Gumby, on World of Smitecraft.
You know what's funny is that I didn't realize it till I dragged the PNG on top, but the font does look similar.
It really does, actually.
Why do people get offended? What's the?
I don't know. You know, people get offended. People. I did President Trump bans Chinese MMORPGs, and you want to talk about some latent generalizing? People were like, "Yeah, that's a great idea. Let's ban Chinese MMORPGs." Not knowing that if you ban Chinese MMORPGs or Chinese studios, you would probably ban most of the Western market. So, because they're all owned by China.
You'd ban League of Legends.
Yeah, pretty much.
Not a bad idea.
Whoa. Yo, we need Revelation Online in our lives, all right? We gotta go kill some dumplings, all right?
Oh, actually, this was my actual. I'll end it here. Sorry, this was my actual favorite. I think I talked about this a while ago. It was Battleborn drops buy to play, opts for a subscription model.
Overwhelming player base.
Yeah, Omer, we should show Omer's video. Actually, you put a lot of work in. You're a bigger
like a 10-second
troll
video
asshole than me.
It was
Let's see if I can
like
find
this is one for sure. All right, sure. Wildstar 2 was officially announced, launching in mid 2018. Some classic made-up quotes. All right. Kim Tae-jin, CEO of NCSoft, commented that Wildstar remains one of our most profitable and popular franchises, and we're excited to announce a sequel to one of our most revered titles. And I got there was actually a short clip on YouTube of the CEO talking about Aeon or something. Right, it was all in Korean. So I'm like, wait, this is beautiful. We got the CEO of NCSoft talking in Korean with no subtitles. So I just slapped some nonsense together. I took some text in the bottom. So
I wonder if people ever get in trouble for these. Like if the company is like, whoa, like, and then they like send a message and they get like you like leaking some shit or something.
Mhm.
I love
That's
this
pretty
guy's
cool.
face in the video. He just looks
Yeah.
like he's scared, and so it works so well for what he's saying. It just doesn't work, but it really does. Good job. You went beyond anything I would have done. So
Actually, if you look at the YouTube page for this, because I actually uploaded this on MMOs.com, this video, and I put it as unlisted so nobody can find it, right? So you have to actually click through from MMOs.com to see the video. And one of the comments is April Fool's ? Other one, is this April Fool's joke that got posted early ? People weren't sure if this was April Fool's joke. Where it's so obvious in the video. Why would the CEO of NCSoft refer to our MMORPG? Why would that happen? It's so obvious it's bullshit. But I guess it's in Korean. They can't understand it, so it might seem legit on first glance.
I have to say, I think I was born to just make shit up, to be like a propaganda czar, because it just flows. I just want to lie all the time. So that's video game journalism. Hashtag crooked gamers.
Did you like the April Fool's one? Well, I thought about you when I wrote about Wildstar. I know how much you love that game.
That's Shu's favorite game, right?
It is. I think it is Shu's favorite
The
game.
best quote ever.
Yeah,
Wildstar is the best MMORPG and continues to grow.
of course. It seems
Oh
somewhat
my
believable.
God.
All right, it seems legit.
Well, I wanted to
Alright.
take us in some actual discussion here. Kind of building off what we were just talking about with Chinese studios. We have a really nice infographic on the site about the Chinese takeover of Western game studios, and I put the link there if you want to bring that up, unless you're already ahead of me. And if you guys don't know, not just MMO studios are owned by Chinese companies, but many studios, many companies, and actually Super Data, I think we talked about this last week, predicted a while ago that we would see 1 to 2 Western publishers picked up by Chinese companies every month. Now we don't know, we don't have data to back that up now because there's a lot of smaller studios out there, but it's certainly interesting. And I want to remind everyone in our audience that it's not just video game companies from China buying, it's mining and coal or poultry. The poultry industry is buying games in China. It's pretty interesting.
I think Aaron made a prediction that he thinks Grinding Gear Games will be bought out by one of the bigger Chinese or one of the random Chinese studios.
Should we get that on the Excel sheet?
I think I will put on the Excel sheet.
What,
I think it's a prediction.
So I'll scroll through this list, this infographic real quick. Basically, I think one thing that surprises everyone knows League of Legends is owned by Tencent by now. But one thing I still find amazing is Epic Games, the guys behind Unreal Engine, is 40% owned by Tencent. That's pretty cool.
I think.
Yeah, I actually didn't know that until I saw this. We talked over each other. I'm sorry.
And what
Pretty
else?
nuts how big those companies are getting. Again, it's so weird to see the Snail Games one was very odd and nobody reported on it till I think Matt was looking it up at there was a lawsuit over who owns there was a guy suing the Snail Games people, but they're owned by a Chinese company and nobody kind of knew that for years. Perfect World owns the company that makes Subnautica and all these
I actually
other
knew
games.
that one, NS2. If you're an NS2 player, you know about that.
NS2, NS2, I don't think it was a big commercial success for Perfect World, unfortunately. But mobile games are. They're making a killing on that stuff.
Oh, yeah. I wonder if one day we're going to see every single Western company on here. And I think we'll see most eventually. I think Blizzard's going to end up here one of these days. I mean, it's at 5% now. Tencent owns 5%, but eventually, Blizzard's not the,
Yeah, no.
You
That's
wanna
been a
hear
fun
something
thing. Go ahead.
You guys want to know something funny? So I was looking through that, and Leo Entertainment, the company that owns Warframe right now, video for one of their other games, that one, and see gods, that is not anywhere close to the quality that I thought would be coming out of a company that could afford to buy the company that owned or made Warframe.
That's really
What works in China is China is a whole different beast. A lot of the things that you can't really complain about the auto playing features and stuff because League of Angels and Naruto Online making a killing in the West from the autoplay features too. But looking at this game, it does not gush quality.
Hold up. Does Brazil really count as the West?
It is in the Western Hemisphere.
All right.
So yes, and even if you discount Brazil, I think 20% of their players are still America. All right.
Guys, is it just me? But in a lot of Chinese MMOs, the characters always look the same. I have
That's
a hard time,
actually
it's
racist.
That's literally racist.
I'm not trying to be. Oh my god.
This is that underlying
Come on, guys, I'm
Japanese.
Asian, come on.
Listen, quote from Shoot: all Chinese people are the same. Literally what you just said.
No, I'm saying.
It's that latent Japanese racism.
The character art, it just looks like it's hard for me to tell between. Sometimes I'll see a game I don't even know it's a different game from just.
Oh, you just see the wings, you know it's Chinese. You see the wings, you know. It's
if
Chinese,
I saw
right?
WoW, I would know it's different, right? Versus Final Fantasy or something like that. But in a lot of the maybe it's just the graphics quality is really bad in some of these games.
Well, I think they actually all look the same. Forget the actual character designs. A lot of those browser games and Chinese MMORPGs are all built on the same engines. I mean, in fact, I think for, all the Perfect World games with Jade Dynasty, Ether Saga, Perfect World, Forsaken World, all built on the same engine, and to the point where even they're so intermixable, how similar they are in character designs and whatnot. Except Ether Saga, which is a bit cartoony, but they were very oddly similar, on every aspect. So yeah, I think that's a valid point. All right, shifting gears a bit. There's actually a interesting bit of Kickstarter news. But before we get to the Kickstarter discussion, there are actually 2 Kickstarters I discovered this week, which I guess kind of fall under the shitty Kickstarter of the week mantra. And then we have another Kickstarter we can talk about. But first, let's go with the shitty ones. I think this is the shittiest of the shittiest Kickstarters. Check this one out, guys. This is Creatures of the Golden Realms by Callie. Look at all the progress that's been made.
Ooh, I can see her butt.
That's all you get. I guess the guy who made this Kickstarter is like, I guess he likes drawing, and he just drew some lady, and she's got a nice butt, nice turquoise / like seaweed green butt.
Seaweed.
And is that a color, seaweed green?
Yeah.
I feel like that could be
Can
a
I
Crayola
point out
color.
her face? I feel like a bit like an asshole, but the face kind of looks like Sartre, Sartre reincarnated. I put a picture there if you want to compare. She's got like one eye is kind of leaving the body.
So what is this game about?
I mean, there's actually very little to go off of. This guy's basically saying a game with different regions, bases for different creatures that you can make. He just like typed this up in like 2 minutes without ever hitting the backspace key once. Like he didn't even think about this. He wrote like I feel like he wasn't even finished, right? He wrote like a paragraph. He's like, I'll come back to it later, and then he never came back to it later. He said, "Fuck it, I'll put it live," and he published it. Right? It's like the most nonsensical Kickstarter. This is like incomplete though, basically. But like, why even bother putting this up? Like nothing's gonna happen out of this, right? And then we have another Kickstarter, which is a bit more, I guess.
Let's not move on just yet. I want to just point out the estimated delivery dates for the different pledge tiers actually go up. So, for example, if you give $10, you'll get your reward by 2018. Then it's 2019. Then 2020.
Why 3 year? Why 2 year differences?
I don't know.
What the frick?
Yeah.
All right, guys, we all have to pledge $10 to this game. We gotta make Creatures of the Golden Realms a thing, all right? And look at the subtitle over here. MMORPG that would put current ones second best. No offense to them. I adore them. What?
I initially thought
I don't really have a right to make fun of this because I kickstarted that one thing that you guys were all making fun of, remember?
Oh, you did. You bought the Harry Potter one or something. At least that was something. There's more substance there,
Dude, it's playable. It's playable.
But are you
I was
playing
it. I played it a little bit, but like I kind of want the wand before I actually go hardcore into it. But
the wand's never coming out. They got your money.
They just released an update, like literally like a day ago, with like a revamped combat system, all sorts of stuff. I don't feel completely ripped off at this point.
just mildly ripped off, all right?
We'll see.
Just mildly.
They did push back the one. It was supposed to come out in February, and they said it's going to come out in Q3. So.
Wow, it's been a while though since you backed that one too. So rip.
Yeah, but like I get to see the progress. They send me emails all the time, like, "Oh, this is a new patch. This is like the patch notes, or new designs."
I mean, something will come out there at least. Like these 2 Kickstarters, this one especially. These are just obvious. These seem like 12-year-olds wrote these. This one is a not so selfish dream. He's asking for £20,000, and just scroll through. This is actually, I would actually nominate this as one of the more honest Kickstarters. This guy's got he keeps it real. All right, he basically says, you give me this money, I'm gonna use it to go to school. All right.
What?
I'm gonna go to school. I'm gonna take some game design lessons, and like I'm gonna make it happen. All right. That's what he's saying. He's like, I don't know shit. All right. I'm gonna take this money and go to school. In like 3 years, I'll hopefully know what the fuck I'm doing, and I'm gonna figure it out. All right. I can respect that level of honesty at least. He's not saying like.
I like his grammar. You're probably thinking This is a scam.
Yes, he is. Yeah, that's true. Look at his breakdown. 4K will be used for hardware and software. 8K will be course funding over the next 4 to 5 years. He's going to school for 4 to 5 years. Wow, this is oh my god! Look at his delivery date. It's 2022. This is far into the future. December 2022.
I mean, I don't trust anyone who says he needs 4,000 for software because he doesn't know about piracy.
Yeah, if you're an indie studio and you don't pirate software, you're not really being tight with the money, all right?
But anyway, all this kind of leads us to the current Kickstarter campaign for Ship of Heroes, which is worth discussing. I'm going to link this to you guys. This is the City of Heroes like inspired game that's asking for $400,000.
Wow.
All right, here's my prediction. Right, so we've had too many City of Heroes successors. I put this in the article, but basically the one that succeeded actually made like 150% of their goal.
Mhm.
But the thing is, it was the first one, and everybody was still high on the we want City of Heroes back train.
Yeah, we should point this out, that Ship of Heroes there's multiple Kickstarter projects, and Ship of Heroes is one of a couple City of Heroes spiritual successors. So indie studios that love City of Heroes, they're all trying to they're trying to build on that experience and make their own game. And there's a whole bunch of them. So this is just another one of those.
So what happened after that is Valiance Online, which is made by Silverhelm Studios, they tried to put it on Kickstarter a year later, and it only had an $150,000 goal, and it barely made $38,000.
Mm-hmm.
So while the Ship of Heroes Kickstarter is decently well done, all things considered, and it is a City of Heroes successor, I think the ship has sailed. I don't want to say that.
I was waiting for that. I was waiting for it.
I think the ship has sailed. I think it sailed away with Missing Worlds Media and City of Titans 4 years ago. You know, I think it's over with. They're gonna make some money, but not enough to reach their goal. And with the all or nothing, like, I don't know what you call that, all or nothing model, they're just not gonna make it. It's not gonna happen. Yeah.
Man, I think you were very generous when you're saying this Kickstarter was semi-complete, semi-something. Have you seen this video? Look at this video.
I'm watching the video.
he's got a
Sneak peek.
character
Sneak peek at combat. I'm looking at that trailer right now in the stream. This game looks like it's from 1999.
Let's be real.
Well, I meant the
talk.
Kickstarter. I didn't say anything about the game.
It looks like nothing. I am honestly, like, real talk. Creatures of the Golden Realms is only moderately worse.
Wow.
Than this, all right. The one we just talked about with the seaweed green buttocks, that's only moderately worse. Like, this is like, it's got a couple
I think
steps
that's
ahead
a
of
bit far.
No, they're both in the territory of, I'm not going to say anything remotely playable that's decent. All right, they're both in that territory. But maybe we'll get like something that's.
I will say the Kickstarter actually had some work went into it. Some thought went into this Kickstarter. Yes. You see little banners, like little displays.
Let's not forget the gifts. Come on.
Yeah.
Don't forget these gifts.
Look,
I always found interesting. Go ahead. You want to go ahead on your point first? I'll take it.
Look, I hate to be the one that doesn't get excited over Kickstarters, but this looks awful. The video, the combat looks disgusting in the video towards the second half. Like, what is this? Like, there's no progress made on this, and they want 400 grand. All they did was a character creator, and like, they have some kind of like world. Like, this is not a game yet, and it's not close to a game, and they want 400 grand. It's a lot of money.
What I find interesting about all these City of Heroes spiritual successors, and I've been told I'm insensitive about this, is that there's so many of them, right? And there's a lot of people who loved City of Heroes, but yet all these projects splintered. And I was always wondered, why is it that there was never any type of communication, or maybe there was, between these projects? Why they didn't pool their resources to make the game they wanted to make?
Ego.
And I think a big problem, and that's probably a lot of it, is that you have this fragmented, like Matt was saying, you have these fragmented spiritual successor projects. Shit, that's hard to say. And so people kind of get burnt out. They've already supported another one, then why would they support this one as well? If your purpose is to capture the audience that loved City of Heroes, then you can't have 4 or 5 different projects trying to be that one game. It's not going to work.
So is this actually like a large amount of people that want?
No, clearly not.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
No, I disagree. That's not fair. There are a lot of people that want City of Heroes.
But if there is a large amount, why hasn't the market done anything about it?
They did.
Well, it's trying to.
They did with the first one. With
let's get a link to that right now.
City of Titans made $678,000 on Kickstarter. I mean, it just hasn't come to fruition yet, and I don't know what's going on with City of Titans personally, but I do know that it hasn't come to fruition yet. And Valiance Online didn't make its Kickstarter goal, but they've still continued on, and they've had various alpha tests over the year. It's never made it anywhere near a complete product, but it's there, and people are working on it. The problem is that, like Sean said, it doesn't matter what you do with it, right? You can have it's City of Heroes, but it's on a spaceship and it has more crafting, which is Ship of Heroes. You can have City of Heroes, but it's not City of Heroes, which is City of Titans. It doesn't matter how many different splinters of that there are. It's an MMORPG, and it's an MMORPG based on another MMORPG, so it's built inside a box. And inside that box, there's only room for one of them to succeed. The other ones will be shoved into the corner and like overshadowed, where the others will be lucky to be seen. You know, it doesn't work the way that these people think it works. You can't just go, oh, hey, they're doing that. I loved City of Heroes too. I should do that. It doesn't work like that.
Looking at City of Titans, it looks very like incomplete. Even like their Kickstarter looked even more incomplete than Ship of Heroes.
You know the problem is.
Go ahead.
The problem with all these City of Hero spiritual successors, none of them know how to make a logo. Look at these logos. I mean, like, what? This is some amateur hour.
Well, you don't know how to make a logo either, but you know how to go to a forum where you can get logos.
Well, hey, how can you display your product or your brand with this logo? Like this one, Ship of Heroes, or this Phoenix Project City of Titans. I mean, this is bad. This is some bad logo work.
That Phoenix Project font. You know that I think that's the same exact font that the remember the original Batman cartoon? I'm gonna bring it up now. I'm pretty sure it's the same font the original Batman cartoon used. Did no one watch that? Jesus Christ, that's like my childhood.
I mean, I watched it. I don't remember the font.
I'm gonna find it right now.
All right.
I've literally never been big on anything superhero related.
Oh, that's fair.
Guys, I'm looking at this game, this City of Titans one, the one that raised $600,000. This looks awful. When is their expected release date? I'm gonna find this.
Never.
I will give anyone 10-1 odds is not going to make their release date. Let's see. They're aiming for what? No, they're aiming for 2015. Oh, let's see. The release date looks to be 2015. Yeah, delivery date is 2015. So obviously they already didn't make it. But I will give anyone 10-1 odds this game is not coming out in the next 2 years. Anyone want to take $5 bet? You win $50. You only risk $5. This looks I don't think any of these games are going to make it. It's just so. They're all dead in water. This is nothing. It's so cringy what little they have. And honestly, looking at the City of Titans, Ship of Heroes has way more. And that's what I made fun of earlier too.
Speaking of that,
aren't you? I just want to build up on this point real quick. Isn't that pointing to a Kickstarter issue where you have these big Kickstarter projects and you have to build hype for your product in order to fund the Kickstarter? But by the time you're able to finish something like an MMORPG, that hype has waned, so it doesn't even matter when you meet your schedule. You know, you can't. It's hard to hype something once as is. It's very hard to hype something twice. So unless you have a really fast turnaround, I just don't think you can keep the momentum going.
I just feel like Kickstarter is basically a platform that enables retards to convince people to give them money, and these guys have no capability of making a game. But with a platform like Kickstarter, they can present ideas to an uninformed public and be able to potentially raise hundreds of thousands of dollars. The fact that the City of Titans game was able to basically milk the nostalgia and the love of the City of Heroes community to get $678,000. I mean, take a look at the game. It just seems like there's nothing there. And
yeah, but you're assuming malice. I really think they have good intention.
Not malice. No, I do think the people had intention of making something cool, but it's clear to me that it's never going to happen, based on what they presented, based on the awful art and the disgusting website for the game. They don't even know how to make a website. How do they make a game? The website looks ugly. I hate to be a downer, but like, oh my, these Kickstarter games. I don't.
You know, it's funny you just said that because whenever I go to the Star Citizen website, I always get a little disgusted. It's so much bloat.
But at least they got something. They raised 140 million. They got like some like they don't have the persistent universe. Yeah, they got like a lot of little things that like at least kind of show something is happening.
I guess.
I don't know.
Anyways, speaking of bets, Omer, you actually do owe me $10 and everybody a Red Lobster dinner.
Oh,
really? For what? What bet did? Oh, is this about Black Desert?
Black Desert and Battlegrounds. I never got paid.
Can we get a song or some fucking shit now? Like, this is a monumental. This is a year in the making.
Whoa, you all owe me $10 for that Riders of Icarus level 20 max level.
It was not written down, and you did not make max level. It was level 25.
Yeah. Whatever, I got the max level, whatever it was.
Oh, that's such bullshit. Level 25 is the
Well,
next level.
well, what do you want me to say?
All right,
It's
if you
actually
come
over
over,
50 now.
I'll get you your.
All right,
just
all
fly
right.
back from wherever you are in your backwards or whatever, and I'll get you your dinner.
All right.
All right, Omer, I expect a Red Lobster dinner.
All right, Matt. I'll treat some Red Lobster dinner. All right. Look, I admit I was wrong, and this stems again. If you're kind of confused listening, I made two small $5 bets saying that Battleborn will be free to play, and that Black Desert will be free to play, and my deadlines did not hit. However, I am confident both games will be free to play. I'm more confident on Black Desert though. I think Battleborn might shut down before it goes free to play, but I do think Black Desert will go free to play.
It's funny that you say that, right?
Please bring up that news, Matt.
Because literally every release that Black Desert has had since the North American and European release has been buy to play. First, the Taiwanese version, and now the South American version, which is made for the Brazilian audience and the rest of South America, is going to be buy to play.
Look, I still say it's gonna go free to play in North America. I'm not talking and NA and EU. I'm not talking about no Brazilian releases. All right.
Well, if even the Brazilian market is going to have a buy to play game, I don't think they're going buy to play. In fact, I would.
I'll make a $5 bet for next year.
Oh, this is a new bet.
Oh
One
my
bet
God.
the new one begins.
I actually guarantee you right now that the guys at Pearl Abyss are kicking themselves for not making the Korean, Japanese, and Russian releases buy to play, because they're committed to this buy to play thing. I mean, they really are. So I am guaranteeing you that every release in every region from now on is going to be buy to play. I would be willing to bet that one.
Another $5 bet for 28 at the end of until the end of this year. $5 bet, Matt. I say it goes free to play.
What the hell are you playing on Twitch?
I am playing the City of Titans world
How awful
builder.
does it look?
They basically opened Unreal Engine and they're just messing around.
Oh, don't you know that's what it takes to make a game these days? I am actually offended by Kickstarter games. I am Kickstarter MMORPGs offended by these City of Heroes successors to the point like, why don't these geniuses just raise like $5 million, combine all their funding, and make one Kickstarter page saying we're going to literally offer to buy City of Heroes from NCSoft for $5 million? Yeah, they're not going to talk to you for 100 grand, 500 grand.
People will. Well, I don't think they're getting that, because if I remember correctly, Richard Garriott tried to get Tabula Rasa back from NCSoft, and he couldn't. So I don't think
he could have ever the right amount of money. Depends what they were asking and what they were doing, but
Richard Garriott holds a pint of blood. He says, "Let me get back Tabula Rasa, please."
Also, there's a problem with there was a big liability. I think NCSoft ended up paying like over $100 million to Richard Garriott because of a lawsuit with Tabula Rasa. There's some bad blood over there. But if a company offers like I get the fans want the game, right? And then if they email NCSoft trying to buy, offering like small amounts of money or begging them to release it for free, it's never going to happen, okay? But if they're going to have a real offer, a funded $5 million credible offer, all of a sudden NCSoft is required to consider it because they're beholden to their shareholders, and their shareholders are going to be pissed off if you don't take a $5 million offer for an asset that's worth zero on your books. So like a for-profit company has to consider offers like that, especially because NCSoft isn't like a $10-50 billion company either, like Time Warner with the fucking, with the Asheron's Call things that's much more difficult to pull off. With a company, it's a real possibility if you can raise $5 million, or maybe even less, but in the millions, you can buy the actual City of Heroes game instead of dicking around with all these successes, which is never going to happen. I feel like that's the play if you want the game that you love back, and I think City of Heroes will be a much better game than any of these successes, which again, they're not going to happen. So it's going to be much better.
Nice.
Well, we should take this to some. We should get off this Kickstarter bandwagon.
All right.
And I want.
By the way,
take it.
no, I hate Kickstarter. Kickstarter MMORPGs. I hate them.
I'm a Kickstarter hater confirmed. I think this is the 8th time we've confirmed this, at least.
That's why I was laughing when he's like, "I'd hate to be the guy who's not excited about Kickstarter."
I was thinking the same thing.
You really don't.
No, it's like because I feel so many people get excited over games like Ashes of Creation, Chronicles. It's almost like I want to get excited too, right? Because like there is this feeling that MMORPGs in the West are getting boring or dying, and they're not like exciting anymore. And yeah, there has been too much change. Like, I want so many people get excited for Ashes of Creation and Chronicles of Illyria. I want to get excited, and like I try and I look at these games. I'm like, are these guys idiots? Why are they getting excited over this? Or they want to believe. They want to believe. I want to believe too, but I can't believe. All right, help me believe. I need religion in my life. Continue.
I was just gonna say that. I think I want to talk about, and it's actually not in our little notes here, but I want to hear from you guys about PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. It's been a huge success this past week. Ever since its release, it's actually risen to the number 3 spot on the Steam charts. It's actually still there. It's at 56,000 as of this moment, but it already peaked at 87,000, which is pretty crazy. It's actually trumped every other battle royale game. I know you guys have been playing it, so why don't you? I don't know who wants to take it away. I think Omer, Erhan, and Shu have been spending most of their time in there. So why don't you?
Let Shu take it away. She's been the biggest addict. Shu, why don't you tell everyone how long you've played PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds already?
Let me check. 97 hours. Wow.
97. Wow.
That's not I probably idled some of that, but
But
still
she hasn't even
97
played since
hours,
launch. She
so.
bought like a couple days after launch when I asked her to play with me. So you've been
Yeah,
playing.
when did I buy? Can I look when I bought it? Doesn't.
Oh,
Right. I bought it like.
at least a few days after.
Yeah, it wasn't. Game is really good though. Like I didn't really like the other games too. Like
The Arma game.
Culling.
Give it a go.
I didn't play the Armor one. I played like DayZ, but
You played Culling as well though.
I did play the Calling. I like this one more, a lot more. It's just like the scale of it is like so much bigger, and I don't know. It's just fun. I like the treasure looting aspect of it. It's really fun. It's like
Dude, you just
start up a
a
game.
gotcha player.
Hold
That's why. Basically, go into the house and gotcha for you.
Hey. These are some accusations, okay? But yeah, I one of the biggest things I like in it is that you can play as 4 and you just all start together. Like you don't have to like do this. So I really used to like DayZ, and this game is really similar to DayZ. Without the zombies, of course, but
Mhm.
just the fact that you don't have to run across the world and try to find each other. Like I don't know, did you guys play DayZ?
Nope.
It was like the worst. Like you want to play with your friends, like there's no party. You have to like literally just like find them.
I
And then
hated that.
one
I hated that in
one
Rush.
of you gets, dude, right? And then one of you gets close, and then they get shot in the face, and it's so. This game kind of alleviates that problem, and it lets you have that experience, the survival, like Hunger Games experience with your friends. It's great. I think there's some issues with, I think, and it's a couple bugs, but other than that, like, I mean, the game is playable, and it's like not a terrible level of playable. It's I don't want to use the word polished, but like for a early access game,
Mhm.
I would consider it more polished than most. So I highly recommend it at the price. And if you get in on this early, get those loot boxes and sell them. You'll make your money back.
I'm enjoying the game a lot as well. We talked about it a bit last week, but it's my first Battle Royale game, and I have only 40 hours into it. A little more casual than Shu, but I've been playing it basically in most of my free time this week in gaming. Has been basically fully occupied by PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. Loving the game. If you have any interest in these style of games, give it a try. If you don't, I think it's top notch, and this game is going to make a lot of money. This is the game I actually looked up if Bluehole/Inmass was publicly traded because I wanted to invest in them after playing this game. They're going to make so much money on this game going to the future. It peaked at 86,000 or so players in the last couple of days, but it's going to be much higher than that. I think it's going to be in the hundreds, over 100,000, maybe up to 200,000 concurrent users in like a month from now is my guess. I'm very optimistic because the numbers are still rising every day.
I think PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds is one of the rare examples of great game design of late. The map is big, but it does a great job of making that map playable, both with the circles, the random circles. Mm-hmm. And as Shu was saying, the scale. It manages to make the world big and small at the same time, while the scale, the 100 players, is a big number, right? And you guys know I love lots of concurrent players. That's a big thing for me. Mm-hmm. And this game does it. And the fact that you can queue as 1 solo, 2, 3, or 4 as a team. So you can play it solo, you can play it with a team, you can play with a friend, you can play with a whole squad. It just opens up so many possibilities. There's so many different play styles. You can play safe in like a corner that no one goes to. You can play Rambo and land in a busy place. So it's the first game of this type that I play too, that I enjoy. And it's okay. So this is a pretty new year, right? But this is the first game, I guess, of 2016 and 2017 that has really excited me. So there you go.
Good. I think we can appreciate the design as well, as you said.
Yeah.
We really haven't had too many like new games, like a new concept for a game. All right. I mean, there's always variations on puzzle games, variations on FPS games, but this PlayerUnknown guy really created a genre with battle royale games. I mean, he didn't invent the concept of battle royale. I think the first time I heard it was a Japanese movie called Battle Royale, but to make it a game was it's basically a new kind of game. Yeah, it's a variation of FPS, but like it really feels different. And it shows like not all the good ideas are taken. You know, people are always like, oh, you can't make anything different anymore. Everything's already taken, basically. No, I mean, this guy did the original armor mod for Battle Royale, and it worked. It's freaking amazing. And it eventually came out to PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. So there are still good ideas out there, and I'm sure there's some great MMORPG design elements, the different concepts that just really haven't been explored yet either. So this shows you that there's still potential to be tapped in the gaming market.
I don't think it's that there's nothing new to do. It's that I think they took something that already existed and then just made it better. Right?
Well, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds?
Yeah.
I mean, he took the original armor mod. Before that, there was nothing.
Oh, you're
the
talking about the
he made the
Mr.
genre. basically. He invented the genre.
PlayerUnknown. Yeah.
I thought you were
Mr.
talking
PlayerUnknown.
about like this game, like itself.
Oh no.
Because-
Because there was H1, there was King of the Kill, there was Arma Battle Royale mod, and there was also vaguely the Calling, which is
Right.
not exactly the same. But I mean, still, like all those games are still relatively new in the scope of like, games. So they're doing awesome.
Yes.
God bless.
I'm really surprised by the bullet physics in the game. Even though like a
Mhm.
lot of people said that it's a little bit unrealistic in the sense that the bullets drop too fast, but it's interesting. Like I was watching a video because I kept missing in the game, right? And oh, by the way, if you guys ever want to see us play it, me and Omer stream this. I stream it a lot with Boone, and like me and Omer will stream it as well. But anyway, I digress. So I was streaming the game, and Chaos Shield, who's in the chat, I think right now, he was watching me play, and he was like, you're shooting too high," and I was like, "What?" But the bullet drops, right? And he's like, "No, because it zeros for like gravity. So like if you want to shoot somebody that's like not super far away, you have to like shoot them in the dick, and then like it will shoot them in the face. Like it's and then he sent me a video that like kind of explains like the physics of how that works. And it's
Realistic,
kind of
actually, yeah, it is realistic.
yeah, so
Actually,
if you're
with the
shooting like
zeroing.
down a hill, you have to account for the fact that it's going down and the bullet's not going to drop. So if you shoot them in the face, if you're aiming for the face while you're on a hill, it will actually shoot over their head.
Huh.
So you have to actually shoot lower, which is really interesting. So, and also you have to account for a moving target. So if the target's moving, you have to shoot slightly in front of it to hit him. So just all of this like adds like this skill to the game that I think is really interesting. It makes sniping a lot harder, which is a problem in a lot of these games, I think.
Very cool.
Anyway, go ahead.
Great game.
Yeah, I mean, great game.
I kill the
There you go.
conversation.
I mean, we actually take this a slightly MMORPG related conversation too, because Edengrad actually launched an early access actually just today actually, and Matt got Gumby and I keys to try this game out. But basically, this is it's open this survival MMORPG. It kind of is same, not PlayerUnknown's related, but maybe it's kind of like going for a Rust / Arc experience, and with an MMORPG twist to it. And it looks like you can gather resources too. So that actually, like, I think we talked about in a previous podcast my perfect MMORPG, and it did incorporate like Rust style survival elements with persistent MMORPG elements. So I mean, I'm optimistic on the concept of this game, but because I haven't played it yet, and it's really an unknown indie studio, I'm questionable about it. I'm actually really looking forward to doing my first look video and actually playing it. But I feel like this is an awesome concept still. The whole survival persistent world MMORPG, building bases and stuff.
Yeah, and we also have Life is Feudal, the MMO version, which
You got cut off, but yeah, Life is Feudal is also on the same vein of that. So we're seeing a few companies at least try to make a persistent world survival, persistent world, resource gathering sandbox MMORPG. And I think that genre is that concept is really not too explored just yet. We've seen it be done with Arc and Rust, but these are more, basically one server with like 300 players or so. But to see this in the MMORPG, I think could be the next big innovation. And I think we talked about this a couple times. I'm excited for that concept a lot. I doubt these guys are going to pull it off very well because they don't have probably the funding or the know-how. But I mean, I'll curious to try it anyway.
Also got it, as you can see in the stream right now, it boasts a nonlinear storyline and unconventional quests, and I'm not entirely sure what that means, but I think they mentioned later down on the page that you can do like whatever quests whenever you want. They're just kind of there. I don't know. It'll be interesting.
I visualize non-linear storyline as like trying to read like Japanese style manga where you're reading from the right side to the left. Is that what non-linear means? Come on, you gotta read from the other pages.
It means there's a storyline, but you don't have to follow it exactly.
I know, but we'll see how it goes. I got pretty mixed reviews on Steam right now, only because people are saying optimization problems and whatnot. But I feel like optimization problems are always frustrating. I think that's probably the biggest pressure point for a lot of PC gaming. And I think that's the reason why console games is still so big in America. Optimizations freaking ruin everything. Even games like Terra and Blade and Soul, and MMORPGs are pretty notoriously bad for this, always end up not being optimized. Blessed 2, for example. And it really sucks. I hate playing a game on my high-end PC and it's just not working well. And I mean, it's such a shitty feeling, just lagging. And you love the game, but you just don't get the full experience. And it drives me mad. And it's such a big problem on PC games. I mean, Playerunknowns Battlegrounds as well has optimization issues. I actually play the game on low on my GTX 1080 to get max frames.
Wow.
And I mean, I shouldn't have to play it on low, but I do. And it's still not perfect. I probably should play on a very low to get even more frames.
I got a story. If no one else wants to.
All right. Please tell us, Papa Aaron. Tell us a story.
All right, here we go. Well, not really a story, a news article. So, Secret World, we heard about the relaunch coming, right, for a while now. Okay, so just the last week they announced that they're gonna relaunch the Secret World as Secret World Legends, and basically what they're doing here is they're gonna get rid of the whole MMORPG tag, I should say, and they want to turn it into an action RPG, which is very interesting. They're not gonna shut the game down. It's gonna exist parallel to the new Secret World Legends, but it will not be updated anymore, the old one. And instead, we're gonna get an action RPG that's free to play. Secret World currently is buy to play. They're gonna make all the chapters or whatever they're called free to play, so you can get the full experience. So all the current content, all future content, free to play. Instead, you're gonna have to pay for inventory space, kind of like Path of Exile. You're gonna have to pay for extra character slots because there's only one character slot per account. That's kind of weird. And it's gonna come out later this year.
You're also gonna have to pay for individual weapons. So basically, what you're gonna do is when you start out, like in the Secret World, you pick 2 weapons.
Mm-hmm.
You pick whatever 2 weapons you'd like to focus on, and kind of level them. And later, you can get other weapons and start leveling them. In the Secret World Legends, you're gonna pick what they referred to as a deck, and you are going to have to pick a deck of 2 weapons, and you get those for free. Have to pay for the rest of them, so you'll have 2 out of like 10 weapons for free. And the other thing about it is that right, so Secret World owners will get them all for free. They won't have to deal with paying for that.
Hells yeah.
Nice.
By the way, it's under a strict NDA right now, so we can't. I mean, I don't have access. I don't think any of us have closed beta access to Secret World Legends.
I'm just gonna wait, you know.
You guys play Secret World?
I did.
Sean did.
I played it too. I didn't play it very much, but I thought it was interesting, like setting, because
Yeah, I loved it.
Really?
There's too much. There's too much samey right now, I think, and
The setting and the fact that they made it an open world and they basically it reminds me of this comic book that I read as a kid, where in the comic book every single conspiracy was true. And that's basically the Secret World's premises. Any conspiracy, any supernatural occult thing you've ever heard is true, and I love that kind of setting, and it's really fun and different and novel. So I know a lot of people complained about the combat in that game. It didn't bother me, and that I guess explains the whole combat overhaul. I only fell out of it because at the time I was playing it, I was playing lots and lots of games. I was hustling hard in my life, so I never actually got to the end, but I got pretty far. But yeah, I'm pretty excited to try out Secret World Legends.
Yeah,
You know what? One of my favorite moments from the Secret World, right? So, I was right around level 10 or 11, and I had just gotten to that second area. I don't remember what it's called. You know, the one on like cliffside with the beach down below. Not the starter zone. The other one with the Wendigos everywhere. So, I had gotten there, and they had just added the Vanishing of Tyler Freeborn. I think it's the Vanishing of Tyler Freeborn, which is a DLC thing for higher level players. Well, I didn't know that, and it let me take the quest. So I jumped into that instance, and it separated out our group, and we're going through it, and something hits us, and we like die instantly. So I respawn, and I start running. I just run through the entire instance. Right, I get to this one boss fight, and I think I'm stuck for a while. I just start jumping around everywhere. Eventually, I glitch my way over a fence and just keep running. And eventually, I made it through the entire instance, just running through the entire thing and completing a quest that I wasn't supposed to complete. And yeah, so that's one of my most memorable moments in that game, is just completely outdoing the game by jumping over a fence.
At least you can get over the fence. I hate when MMORPGs you can't jump over a fence. Like,
Well, you weren't supposed to be able to.
At least they like, or whatever. Every fence should be able to be jumped over. If I can slay dragons and I could kill titans and gods, I should be able to jump over a goddamn fence. All right, that's a pet peeve of mine too. When I can't jump over fences in video games, period, I get mad.
I think the big story with Secret World is not just that they're making this, relaunching this as an action RPG, but that they seem to be, Funcom as a studio, moving away from MMORPGs. So basically, as someone in chat said, they're going to keep Secret World running, but they're no longer going to develop for it, and they're not going to really sell it anymore. So only old existing players can continue playing it. And this also goes in line with Anarchy Online and Age of Conan. They basically sunsetted the games where they didn't shut them down, but they basically stopped development. So it's sad to see one of the original MMORPG studios with Anarchy Online was released ages ago. To see one of the first studios dedicated to MMORPGs kind of moving away from the genre now.
We should point out though that Funcom was in, or at least the prospect of financial trouble existed for them for quite a long time. And if it wasn't for Conan Exiles, if Conan Exiles had flopped hard, they might be taking a different direction. So I'm not surprised to hear that they're moving themselves away from MMORPGs, considering the heavy investment.
It's just the wording they used to describe Secret World Legends felt like they really tried to call it anything but an MMORPG. Like it really felt like they really danced around it. Is there a stigma for MMORPG?
That's a good point.
Destiny does the same thing where they don't call it an MMO, but everybody knows it's an MMO.
Well, here's the thing with Secret World Legends. We don't actually know if it is actually an MMO or we don't.
But we're just pointing out the wording that I forget the CEO's name was using in various interviews, or the way that Funcom has pushed forward. Because remember that the Secret World itself is an MMORPG, and now when you announce Secret World Legends, they're calling it a shared world with ARPG elements, which is quite a categorical difference.
We can't call it Persistent World. Persistent Worlds are too similar to MMORPGs. Let's call New World. New word for it. Shared World. There you go.
Shared world, right?
Oh my god.
Like I said,
What the fuck does that mean?
Well, like I said, it may not have like the MMORPG element. It may just invite other people into your world. We don't know.
Yeah, because we try. But even the Destiny, they really try hard to not call it an MMO. Right? And it's like it almost
did well because they didn't call it an MMO.
But why is it?
But that's our point.
Yeah, it's got a stigma. I mean, whether or not we want to admit it here in the West, MMO, they're in a decline overall. I mean, we have those casual games that are taking over slowly in the entire genre, you know. But traditional MMOs are in decline, and that's just the way it is. So companies are going to try and avoid the term because they don't want to have their product associated with a genre that's in decline. Just like if you had a MOBA that came out tomorrow that had like you controlled a group of characters instead of just one character, and it was an RTS by all definitions, they would want to stay away from the RTS definition because the RTS genre has been all but dead for years. There are not
if
a
they
whole lot
make
of
an RTS and they don't call it an RTS, it feels like it's dishonest.
Well, it's not dishonest. It's a MOBA. You know, you just don't call it the RTS part of the MOBA. You understand what I'm saying?
With the RTS example, not so much, because RTS does, have a specific connotation. You have the base builder, you have the building crafting units and stuff. Like, if you call that like instead of RTS, you call it like a role playing experience. It just seems
squad based
silly.
MOBA. Squad based MOBA. There you go.
But that seems dishonest. And I would argue that
But
I
it's
think
not.
even if they called Destiny MMO, like I don't think it would have hurt the game really. It just I don't know what. Clearly they did
Speaking
their
of
review
Destiny,
thinking.
there's Destiny 2 for PC now announced.
Yeah.
Whoa!
Don't worry, it's
Yeah,
still not MMO. I'm not calling it that.
It's launching on September 8th. It's going to be on PC. It's got Nathan Fillion. Get hype.
Well,
I'm
what-
actually
I'm
really
not-
excited to play it on PC because I played the original on PS4 a lot. So be happy to see it with like graphics all the way up. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Mhm.
I really liked the original Destiny, even though everybody else hated it.
considering
Everybody
like
else,
we-
quote unquote, hated it. People played the shit out of it, but they hated it. Believe me, they hated it.
I never played
So,
Destiny. So,
I have neither. Only because
I
it wasn't on
live my
PC.
Destiny,
wow.
Wow.
which is ship posting.
Destiny 1 was not on PC. Someone said in chat. So, Matt, is Destiny buy to play, subscription, or what is it?
buy to play with DLC.
Okay.
It's not. It goes with the traditional offline shooter model. Well, offline shooter, not like non MMO shooter model. It's got the traditional buy to play. You buy DLC and put it all together in a complete edition. So how it works, and the way the game itself works, you have like hubs where you'll see up to like 15 other players.
Matt, your audio keeps cutting off.
I think I'm having internet issues,
Uh
Yeah, it
oh.
might be.
so I apologize.
But I mean,
anyways,
now that it's out for
Destiny-
PC, it'll be good.
Streams
Well,
also-
anyways, well, what I was saying is Destiny has hubs, right? And in the hubs, you have like up to 15 other players at a time. And I think the limit is determined by, like, you know how they have regulations for like Xbox and stuff, how many players you can have at once on their things. I think that's what's going on. So you can have up to like 15 other players. Then you go out to an open world zone and you do certain quests in the open world zone. And you can see other parties out there. Like you have a party of up to 4 people. You can see other parties out there. And you can interact with them. You can do sort of like open world, like rifts, in Rift. And then you go and you can do instances. So that's how it works. It's sort of an MMO, but it's also not really. Very
Actually, I
highly
think- yeah.
instanced.
It's a very maybe it was a marketing ploy to not call it an MMO because a lot of people have debated, including like all the big IGN games, GameSpot and whatnot. Like, is Destiny an MMO? That's a topic of discussion. And it does create a lot of like talk and hype about the game.
Massively.
I mean,
You need 1,002 players, and then it's massively. Each
didn't Combat Arms call itself an MMO? And like it's got like there's a lot of
just
issues with like
labels.
12 players. Yeah, it is just labels. It does. I think it could have been a marketing ploy too. It could have been a marketing ploy to just not call it that.
I think
and,
the whole idea is this, right? There's a preconception of what an MMO is and an MMORPG, and so as long as you don't call yourself that, they don't want to give the impression that there's something that they're not. Because I think whether good or bad, I think they just don't want to be lumped in. We are our own game. We're Destiny. That's what we are. We're not anything
It's
else.
an
Don't
F-
compare us to don't compare us to any other MMO you can think of. And I understand that because people always group things together under a label, and and I think the obsession with calling something an MMO or not has taken things too far, and you start comparing things that aren't really alike that shouldn't be compared, and so I respect them trying to get away from that label.
It's an FPS with Diablo kind of loot and raids, so yeah, not really a traditional MMO by any means.
But it doesn't have to be a traditional MMO. It can just be an untraditional MMO or some other kind of MMO. And I don't want to hear you talk about MMOs for a second. I think you and Erhan defended online chess being an MMO, as long as there's
I think we defended it adequately. I think we continue to defend things without emotion, unlike the vast majority of people. And just because you don't like something doesn't mean
you're straight. No, if you can call chess with two people,
so we will
as long as it's about persistent laddering, persistent rankings in the chat, a global chat. According to you and Erhan, it was an MMO.
So we should settle this like the great philosophers like Socrates or Kant. We should have a fist fight, and that's how we'll decide who's right.
That's how all factions decide fist fights.
Yeah, definitely.
There should be a chess MMO, actually. Not like the actual game. Maybe you have to pay to be the queen, though, because the queens are OP. Otherwise, you start off as a pawn.
All right.
Class change.
Job advancement. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. That's the pay to win part, though. You have to pay the class change.
I got a good question. So you guys, I don't know if you guys have even heard of this game before. Record of Lodoss War Online is coming out in 2 days. And it launched in Korea and Japan previously. But did anyone know that it was coming out in English? Because I don't remember them ever announcing that. I don't remember this happening. But apparently on the 16th of last month, the website came up, and like the 5 people that are actually on the forums and noticed it knew that it was coming. So I saw that the other day, and I'm like, this is happening? Like, really? This is exceptionally weird, because this is based on a series of novels that came out between 1988 and 1993 originally, and it's had a lot of games. There have been like 10 to 15 games over the lifespan of the entire series, and I think the first one came out the year that the first novel came out. So in that time, only one of them has been released in English officially, and that was the one for Dreamcast, which was kind of Diablo-like. Which
you know how hard that game was to find? Jeez.
Probably really hard. Yeah, but I mean, it's just shocking that this one all of a sudden is coming out in English, especially when it's a dated isometric MMORPG, which even though it has clean graphics, I mean, it's very, very old school. It's not the kind of thing that works here in the West anymore, and I'm just kind of shocked. I'm going to try it out for sure.
Just to clarify, too, the novels were actually replays.
Yeah, the novels were replays of Dungeons and Dragons.
Yes.
That's smart. I love this style. This game. I have been a fan of this style forever, since playing Ragnarok, so
I mean,
dated or not.
I've said it before. There is no reason for PC games to not be isometric. Nothing beyond this adds any value.
I think
Overwatch should be isometric too. World of Warcraft should be isometric.
Well, yes, World of Warcraft should be isometric.
MMORPG should be isometric.
Yes,
if World of Warcraft was isometric, they would have 10 million players, not 5.5 or whatever
I agree.
They had.
Yeah,
you know what?
Lodoss takes place in the Forcelia setting, and it has like a bunch of novels and anime.
I'm not gonna lie, I do like the art style in this game though, but it looks so much like Redstone. It looks like. Is it by the same company? I don't see the name, so no.
LNK.
No, can you go to their website?
Yes, it's LNK Lodge.
Please go to their website, because this website looks like this website looks like a private server. This website does not. It looks like a little website where you click a thing and you see the players, and it's all those stolen Facebook avatars claiming to be actual people. You know what I'm talking about?
So this game calls itself Lodoss War Online, but like, so I'm assuming it takes place on Lodoss Island. Are we gonna? Does anyone know if like any of the characters, like, does it take place at the same time?
It's based on the story of the books. It's based on the story of the books. It starts with Grey Witch and then moves on.
Oh,
That's all I know.
I mean, let me show you. This looks just like a little bit more polished Redstone. It is the same company. I'm gonna link you what Redstone looks like so you can see. It looks very similar. It looks way sharper though, way nicer. And Redstone is actually still relevant today. People still play Redstone. It's still available from the developer itself. So, this look and feel does work. It's got some nostalgic player base.
In Korea, the same company also publishes a.
Were they published, Matt? You got cut off again.
They publish an MMO shmup.
Oh, all right. Shmup.
What does that mean?
Shoot 'em up.
Hit 'em up.
Oh my God.
Shooter.
Good acronym.
You learned
Sounds so
something
nice.
new. Well, it sounds like schlock.
No, I actually wrote this down on my notepad document. I'm gonna do a first look for this game the second it comes out because it piques my interest. I do like that.
Yeah, mine too. I'm a little excited.
Be a grind fest as well,
Surprisingly,
maybe.
surprisingly, I've seen a lot of people that are excited because it's
Wow.
just old school. I guess because it's so incredibly old school that it's like we haven't seen this in like a decade in the West.
Oh, we saw Tree of Savior, but yeah.
I don't know if that's the same.
I'm probably gonna
Hey,
play this.
Nice.
I
Hope the translation's okay.
Lodoss fan.
They even looks awesome. They even say on the homepage, "Return of the classic MMORPG." So they are referring themselves as a throwback to the classic MMO. But I'm curious, will they have the grind of classic MMORPGs? Will they have the difficulty of classic MMORPGs? I think it might. But the thing is, even Redstone, the guys they made Redstone as well, a similar looking game. It was actually much harder when it first came out. Redstone, they changed the XP pacing a lot, and it went pretty casual as well. Even though it's probably still more hardcore than a lot of current games. But I'm curious to see how this is going to play. If it's going to be grindy, if it's going to be difficult, or is it going to be like you level really quickly? I guess we'll have to wait a couple days to find out.
You know what's funny? If it wasn't for this game, I actually was going to go play a private Ragnarok online server because I've been missing the top-down kind of gameplay. I really do enjoy that.
Just play Ragnarok Journey. Sure, are you still playing that too?
I already played Ragnarok Journey.
I don't play Ragnarok Journey.
Did you play for like a week then? Sure.
No, I
Oh.
don't play it at all.
She sounds a little offended. I think you.
I offended you.
No, I just haven't had time for MMORPG.
You don't need to have time for Ragnarok Journey. Ragnarok Journey goes on the journey without you. Okay, you just launch that shit, and you're level 45.
Yeah, but
No,
you don't
nothing-
understand that I
yeah.
get really invested in games. Okay, like look at my time in Battlegrounds. I mean that should say everything. I play I play them and then like I just really get into it and like I don't want to. I still have Sword Art Online to play. Still have Shadowverse to play. Fire Emblem. So many.
Look at Shu, mobile gamer. She was transitioned fully to mobile, fully embraced.
No, I like Battlegrounds. I have more hours in Battlegrounds. Like, come on.
I still find the mobile game, the browser games that play themselves, the most absurd one was that Divine Storm one. You launch it and it's like pick a class. There's 4 classes. If you choose nothing, it just picks one for you. Like,
Yeah, do that to me.
You basically launch the game. You go take a shit. You come back. You're a level 50 wizard. What? And you have a name. It picks a name for you too. You got a name. You get gear. You kill monsters automatically. The game's playing itself from the beginning to end. It's a solo. It's an automated. It's like progress quest, but with reskinned versions. It's an MMO progress quest.
I want to remind you guys, Tree of Savior launched exactly last year this month,
Wow.
and I remember.
I haven't played it since.
No.
I want to play it. Does that make sense?
Dude, me too.
Yeah,
too.
I actually do too.
Do you want to give it another try?
I would give it another try. I actually do want to play
Wait,
it
when
again.
are those boosts coming out?
I'll give it a try.
Oh wait, are they giving all new players like a?
They're already out.
Okay.
Yeah. But you have to make an
new
all-new
account.
account.
Oh.
Whatever.
That's fucking bullshit. Oh, sorry. Excuse my language. I didn't mean to use the word "that's." I want to like Tree of Savior so much. It was just those levels of doing that. Maybe with less players, it's fun again.
Were you trying to say it was just a pesky gameplay that kept you away?
No, but I want. Okay, I remember this about Tree of Savior. I wanted to grind. I was all ready to grind. The problem was there were so many fucking people. You couldn't grind efficiently.
That's
It was
true.
like- so maybe it's just a game where you need less people. So
It's weird to say that about MMO though, right? But like, the way
I don't
the
think so.
isometric game it did require like separate like grind areas. Normally
problem-
you do want full games.
You do, but
MMOs
Tracer
are
didn't
never
have the big open
designed.
world.
Yeah, that's fair.
MMOs are never designed to actually support their populations. If you actually look around at the amount of resources that are available at any one time in any game that you play, they're never actually designed to support that many people.
So they're all built like the fitness club model, the gym model, right? If everybody in the gym who has the membership goes, there's not enough, stuff to play with, all right? You need 5% of the people there at all times to make it like comfortably full but not overwhelming. Plus, they kind of expect you to be in different progress in parts of the game. But man, trying to play a Tree of Savior on launch day and launch week was a disaster. Incredibly high
It was
pings.
unplayable.
It was
I'm
unplayable.
installing it. I'm installing it.
I actually want to play it as well. So
Anyone with me? Omar's with me?
I'm with you,
Chill.
Gumby.
The grind is too real in that game. It's
Just
so
let's give
bad.
it a come on. Let's be open-minded.
Let's
We
give
can
it all
hold our
college effort.
hands.
You guys want to play
We'll hold
tomorrow?
hands. Yeah, gotta.
I'll grind. I'll stream it tomorrow.
Okay.
I'll play
I'm
if
game.
plays. I won't
Let's
be here
do it.
tomorrow.
All right. All right. Well, whoever wants to join us will join us. Should be fun.
All swordsmen, all the time.
You know what's funny?
Dude, that music was so good.
We didn't even get to the game we played for Sunday Funday this week. It's so forgettable.
Oh, that's a good discussion. That was a great
Mirage.
discussion, actually.
Mirage.
No, let's talk about it now, and then we'll talk about what we played and enjoyed.
All right.
All right, go ahead. Take it. You are the most passionate about Mirage Arcane Warfare, hon. Tell us what you thought about Mirage.
Okay.
Please.
I loved Chivalry. It was novel, memorable, big, fun game. Okay, so when I first heard about this game, which was by now years ago, right? It's been a while since I heard about this game. Basically, it was Chivalry with magic. So I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And this Sunday, I got to play it, and I was very let down. It was a smaller game than Chivalry in every way. Fewer players per server. 20 is the max, so you can play with 10 vs 10 tops. The graphics didn't really move me. The animations, the character lines and stuff weren't funny or interesting like they were in Chivalry. The spell effects, which was the main thing, spells, didn't feel impactful. I just felt like these little orbs, slowly floating towards somebody, and I was really let down with the game. I did not have a good time. I don't recommend it. So there it is.
I thought it was thoroughly okay. It did get a little more disappointing as I kept playing because it didn't give me the pizzazz to make me want to keep playing, and I couldn't nail down exactly why just yet. But I mean, it just after playing the beta, I'm not going to pay for it, right? Maybe I'll try it again before it launches because the beta is good until like the day before it launches. So maybe I'll try it again before it launches. Maybe I'll like it then. But it didn't. It felt so much like Chivalry that I would rather play Chivalry. Like if it went its own way, it still kind of had its own mechanics with the abilities, but the swinging and stuff, it almost felt like they started as their base game as Chivalry. They just copy pasta Chivalry and then made tweaks to it rather than make a game on its own. And because it was so similar, but it still felt a little awkward, it just made me want to play Chivalry. So for me, it didn't really do it for me. I'm curious if you can find the drop-off rate for the beta. Let's see how many people are playing Mirage Arcane Warfare now. Because it was pretty bad last time you looked at it. Yeah,
All right,
176 players online. It's not a lot.
I have refined my opinion since last. So what I think happened here is the people that make Chivalry sat down and they said, what's popular today? And they saw Overwatch, and they literally just took the key elements from Overwatch, which are abilities, classes, that art style, and just threw it onto Chivalry.
Mm-hmm.
And that's basically what happened with Mirage. That's what I see when I look at it. It has the same combat system as Chivalry, and that's about it. It otherwise looks like somebody that tried to take an existing franchise and copy something like Overwatch or Team Fortress 2 using that franchise. Because even the deliberate usage of like the term multiplayer FPS, I don't remember Chivalry ever being boasted as an FPS, like marketed as one, but they're marketing Mirage as one. I think they want it to be closer to like something like Team Fortress 2 than they want it to be like Chivalry, even though it uses Chivalry's basic combat system but more refined. And you can even see it in the classes where you have the tank the melee DPS, the range DPS, and the healer. You have all of those, and you wouldn't have those in a game like Chivalry. Chivalry is closer in like structure to something like Mount and Blade. They have more in common, other than the basic combat system, than Mirage and Chivalry have in common, in my opinion, having played both of them. But yeah, that's what I'm seeing.
I just want to say, okay, so Chivalry came out in 2012, right? This is coming out in 2017. That's 5 years.
Here we go again.
I don't see any sign of progress, any sign of a novel or broad or new or interesting experience. It's, if anything, the best case scenario, it's like even with Chivalry, but just different, right? With the whole magic and graphic style. But that's not good enough for 5 years of progress. You know, this is based on a new Unreal Engine 4, where Chivalry is probably 3. It's been 5 years of game design, know-how. This doesn't show a studio that progressed 5 years after a big hit.
But the problem with that is I don't think most studios, or really any studios, can really churn out different games. Like look at this PlayerUnknown guy. He made the same game 3 times, right? Obviously better every time.
Yeah,
look at Chivalry.
That's
This
the
is
thing.
Same game done twice.
No, better every time. This is not better in any way than Chivalry.
Only because they tried to make it different. This wasn't made to be a sequel to Chivalry. It was made to be kind of its own. But they should have probably just made Chivalry more polished. If they could have made it better that way.
But again, what I see is a game that took a lot of elements from popular MOBAs and
I see
Fortress 2 and Overwatch, and I think that's the problem. The reason that it doesn't feel better is because they tried to force in a bunch of elements that didn't have anything to do with the original game. That's why it doesn't feel better, not because it's like not specifically better, but because of what they did.
Well, whatever it is, it doesn't feel better.
I could say a lot about Mirage. I got a shit ton to say, actually.
All right, let's hear it.
Give it to us, Gumby.
Okay. Here's the rundown on Mirage. Mirage, as I think everyone said, it's not Chivalry 2. It's a horizontal step. They took some of those base elements in Chivalry, and then they said, okay, what can we do with these that's different? And what do they do that's different? They kept the melee combat. You have a very complex melee combat system. I don't think anyone could deny that. You have all these different types of moves, and you have this parry system. That's part of what made Chivalry great. So we get into these really heated battles where it's all parry, swing, big emphasis on melee.
And then someone kills you from behind. Yeah.
Hold on. Let me finish here. But then what Mirage does is it throws in abilities. And here is what I don't like, is that the abilities completely eclipse this complex, intricate melee combat system. Now the emphasis in the game is, when's my cooldown going to come up? What ability am I going to use? What build should I bring into this fight in order to take out my enemies? Now it's like I just press one button and I'm swinging around in a circle with my axe to kill other players. It doesn't have that skill-based, rewarding feeling when you get a kill. At the same time, the maps have become very congested. When you look at, as we see in the video, these look more like hallways with some pockets of open space, but when you run down these hallways, you're always by yourself. And if you look at a video of Chivalry or on our review page, there's these big open spaces where you look to the right and left, you see your other players, you're screaming for Agatha. This is more like gangs fighting in an alleyway, whereas Chivalry is a war between countries. And I think that's very important in a game like this. You want to feel like you're part of this big bloody battle, not some type of turf war over who gets to marry Veronica from West Side Story or whatever her name was in West Side Story. At the same time, there's a huge issue in this game when it comes to the tone, the aesthetic tone, which feels like Disneyland, juxtaposed against this extreme violence. And actually, if you compare Chivalry, and we can't help but compare Chivalry because it's so close, the violence has actually been toned down in Mirage, which really disappointed me because it just doesn't work with the palette. Purples, oranges, really like hot 80s pinks colors, and it just doesn't work. It doesn't work for the type of atmosphere they're going to create. It's like my first violent video game. The tone is all wrong.
It's really weird. Like I'm watching the video right now, and it just looks.
Yeah, it's like is it Disney or is it Grindhouse? It feels like an arena where you would find Mickey Mouse and Goofy ripping off each other's arms, right? And then there's also something very off-putting about the character designs. Number one, the way the colors are designed, they bleed and they blend into the environment way too much. It's very difficult to distinguish the characters against the background textures often. You can see that on our review page with some of the screenshots.
I don't get
Um,
the color scheme. It's
No, it doesn't stand
purple
out.
orange thing. This purple
Yeah.
orange like going on. Like what?
Well, what it is it's really fun looking when you get the right shot from the right angle. But when you're in the game, like I always forgot what team I was on, and that's the last thing I'll bring up. In Chivalry, you had a real extreme sense of your identity with your teammates. You were for Agatha, or you were for those other guys who weren't Agatha, because for Agatha was more fun to say. In this, there's no sense of identity with your teammates, and that's why I kept killing my teammates. I'm like, fuck, I was purple last time, I must be purple again, but I wasn't. I was orange this time. So there's no camaraderie that way. Again, I think this comes back to the sense that this is a street gang war rather than a street gang battle than a war. This what it does is it feels like a hero-based team deathmatch, no matter what mode you're in. It doesn't feel like a skill-based combat system. So like I said, I had a lot to say. There's no epicness to Mirage. It's just kind of a forgettable, but yet fun, and there's are hilarious moments. It is fun, but it's just, you just don't care afterwards.
In Chivalry, I recall like you used to just lob people's heads off like straight
Oh
up.
yeah. Actually, I have a great screenshot of just that.
The colors are really wild in this game.
Yeah,
Even that one level.
It's really.
The game modes are also boring compared to Chivalry. We have to kill the peasants, you have to kill the king, all this stuff.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you posted in.
See, in this screenshot, I mean, I'm showing you this. The gore, this guy's arm gets ripped out, and his blood is spurting out. He's looking and he's horrified. But in this game, that just never happens. You don't even notice limbs getting ripped apart.
I loved Chivalry. That was a really
Fucking
fun
love Chivalry too.
I'm so bad at it now, though. Like, it's one of those games you have to like kind of keep on it, otherwise you you really lose it. God, the duels in that game were so epic. When you had like that, like both sides, like you had like those death matches or whatever, and then like you had like the one-on-one at the end in the arena. Oh man, it's fun.
I want to point out though, Mirage isn't a bad game. It's not a bad game. It's just a good game. I mean, I know Erhan, I think you take a difference of opinion there. I don't think it's a bad game. It's just that it's building off a predecessor that just had so much more impact that and because its elements are so similar, it's impossible to avoid comparing them. And that's where it really suffers. If Mirage was the first game and Chivalry was the second, it would feel like a natural progression. But in this way, it feels like a reversal, I think.
Yeah. It's a smaller
really
game.
Fucking need abilities too.
It's a smaller game, and if it was free to play, okay, I'll give it a pass and say it's a good game. But it's not going to be free to play. It's going to be buy to play like Chivalry. And there's really no reason to play it over Chivalry.
No.
There was almost like a beauty to the way Chivalry was designed. It was a game you could just pick up and kind of know what's going on pretty quickly. Yeah, you wouldn't get the intricacies of when to block, how to swing, right? But you got the gist of the game. Whereas a game like Mirage, it adds those complex MOBA elements where you have to know what all the freaking abilities do. And not just the freaking abilities. You have to know what every other ability does too, because you have 3 abilities in every class, and there's actually an alternative ability as well. So your loadout is choosing between 2 abilities on each slot. So there's 6 total abilities per class, and then you have that of all the classes. It's adding complexity where it's not even needed. I mean, MOBAs have that complexity, but they took a formula in Chivalry where I think Chivalry was a deep game and there was a lot to learn and master, but you didn't have that extra element of having to learn what all these stupid abilities do. It just adds too much complexity in a formula that worked really well before. And I always hated the complexity of MOBAs as well, but they always got away with it. But I don't want to see unnecessary complexity in other games, and it's a bit odd.
Chivalry is like the only game I've played that really had a real sense of
Yeah, that's true.
Like, I really felt like when you were in that 1v1 situation, like based on what weapon your enemy had, what you had, there was this real sense of like outplay. Like when you killed that guy, you felt like, damn, I outplayed that guy. You know what I mean? And there was like so many cool ways you could kill someone. Like there's one time I was playing Chivalry and there was like spikes on the wall, and I kicked him into it, and he just like died. And that feels amazing, stuff like.
Gubby, you reviewed Chivalry and you gave it an excellent on MMOs.com.
I did. I think it deserves
highest
it.
honor.
I agree.
That was
actually, I think, my first excellent as a review. Because I think Chivalry really deserved it because it was the right mix of silly plus deep plus novel, and that's really important.
All right, well,
I think what we learned is Mirage makes us want to play Chivalry. That's the gist I got.
Before we end the podcast, I do want to talk about what we played each week. Something new we've been trying to do is just kind of recap what we've been playing, not just MMOs, because we don't just play MMOs. Contrary to popular belief. Shit, I mixed that one up. So I'll start real quick. What I've been playing this last week, I finally beat Nier Automata. I think it's an amazing game. This will be the last time I shill it. It actually got me to go study up on existentialism and stuff, but you don't have to. I also started playing Doom. I think it's the smoothest freaking FPS I've ever played in my life. I can't believe how much fun of a single-player experience it is. And I also picked up Mamadora. Not sure I'm saying that right. Reverie Under the Moonlight on Steam. It's this Metroidvania platformer. It's a shit ton of fun. It's really hard. I'm really enjoying that a lot. So I've had a pretty fun week.
Surprised that you picked up Momodora because it's actually an indie title made by I'm pretty sure one guy. It's a series.
I like
of
indie titles.
4 or 5 games now, but it's never actually made it to limelight until I guess it got released on PS4. This new one.
It's a really good game. I highly recommend it. It was on sale. It's deep and challenging, but it has simple controls you can pick up in a second. It's a lot of fun. And Nier is great. Really loved it. Who's next? I have a list here if we want to know who goes next. I have Omer on top, then Matt, then Erhan, and then Shu, who's not on the list, but she's going anyway.
All right.
I'll take it real quick. I played quite a bit of Playerunknowns Battlegrounds, as I said earlier. Basically, all my free time this week has been going towards Playerunknowns Battlegrounds. It's a really fun game, and I kind of shilled at the beginning of the podcast anyway. But beyond that, I've been traveling a bit, so I haven't been able to play too much. I'm actually really looking forward to Persona 5. It's a game I've probably been most excited for since the last few years. And unfortunately, I pre-ordered it, but it's going to come to my house in Vegas. I'm not in Vegas right now, so I'm going to buy it again while I'm in Europe and in Turkey right now because I don't want to wait till I'm back in Vegas to play it. I'm eagerly waiting to pick it up in retail here in Turkey. I don't mind paying twice for it because fuck it, Persona 5, and I am eager to play. But beyond that, it just for me has just been Playerunknowns.
All right.
My turn. All right, you guys go first.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been dragging my feet trying to finish Breath of the Wild. I put 40, maybe 50 hours into it, and I'm at the end now, and I'm looking at my goals and what I've got left, and I'm just I'm not having fun anymore. I had fun when I was able to just run around and do whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted. I enjoyed the content on its own at my own pace, which happened to not be a very slow pace at all, so at my own pace didn't matter. But now that I have 2 things left to do, I'm dragging my feet. The other day, I sat down for the first time in a week, and I played through the part where I have to do the memory thing. I did 6 of them out of 12, and I'm still sitting here I don't want to finish it. I don't care anymore. I've never cared about Zelda's story in any of the games. I only was here for the gameplay, that kind of thing. So it's really hitting me hard right now. I'm really disappointed in the fact that it went so long that I liked it. It's a game that I could have finished in 10, 20 hours maybe, and I put 40 into it, and it's just really killing me that I'm hitting the end now, and I don't want to finish it because I don't care anymore. And it's been rough with that. But the other thing I've been doing is I told you guys about that expensive controller I bought the other week, and I've been playing the shit out of that game. I've been playing 3 hours a day of this rhythm game called Sound Voltex, and it's literally the most insane rhythm game I've ever played. And I showed you guys the other day, but I'd like to show the stream how big this controller is because it overtakes my entire desk. So here you guys go.
Wow.
Can you program that to play other PC games? Just try playing an FPS game on that, all right?
Well, the buttons correspond to different keys on your keyboard, and the knobs are X and Y on your mouse. So I could do any game with it, technically. I was going to do something laughable and try and play a shmup with it. But, so that's mostly what I've been doing. I tried out the other game, Deformers, the other day, and it was extremely hard to get it to work. There were all sorts of bugs, but that's why they have the open beta. And it's actually kind of funny because it's a brawler, and the team fights and the normal fights are what they're really what you're meant to be playing, but they have this like Rocket League rip-off mode, and I had a lot of fun with that because it's like Rocket League but not, and you have the whole ability to like punch your enemies, and the one class like you can shoot enemies, and it's like Rocket League with being able to punch people, pick them up, and like shoot. I had a lot of fun with that.
Awesome.
And Matt's stick reminded me of a GIF I saw this week. This guy plays Dark Souls with a bunch of bananas. I'm playing that right now. Well,
Yeah, I saw that. I literally stopped when I realized what he was playing it with, and I went, "Holy shit! Like what?"
What a
That's
god!
great. Oh my god!
What a god among men! I have mad respect for this guy.
Holy shit!
That is so cool.
from what I've been playing, I've been traveling as well with my brother to Turkey, so I've been playing mostly not anything hardcore. I played a few rounds of Battlegrounds with him. I played around Dota today with an old friend. I had to uninstall Fire Emblem on my phone finally. I'm still rocking a 16 gig phone memory storage, so I had to delete that.
I sure like iPhones.
Well, they don't make them that small anymore. I got a small one.
Okay. I couldn't
Um,
resist.
all right. And then I bought myself a 3DS game, actually, the Mario and Luigi Dream Team. I love the Mario RPGs, so I think I'm gonna have a good time with this one as well. It's something to play like at the coffee shop or while I'm traveling around on the bus. So that's what I've been up to.
I just got deja vu of that. Did you say that last week?
The Mario Dream Team? I don't think
Yeah.
so. I don't think so.
No, he did.
I had like this sense of deja vu that like I literally heard that exact same sentence.
Did you
Like,
I have a
Dream-
feeling he did say he was going to get it. I have a feeling.
Okay, well I don't know
it
if
was like,
I do.
okay,
I have it
whatever.
now. I have it now. So maybe I said I was going to get it. Okay, so now I have it.
Dude, did you ever have deja vu of Playerunknowns Battlegrounds where you're in a situation like I've been here before? This exact situation. I feel like I've already had that.
But I had those situations where like I feel like I've been in this position before and I know I'm going to die and then boom I die. Like you just get shot.
Prophecy
Like,
is fulfilled.
you know, like in your head you're like, oh god, I'm about to get shot. Then boom, headshot, you're dead.
You guys want to see this?
Prophecy fulfilled.
Yes, they can already emulating
so-
Persona 5. All right, go ahead.
I'll talk about mine. So I actually just got Persona 5. It just came in the mail like during the podcast. I had to go downstairs. And...
I didn't know you
You know-
even liked Persona, Show.
Dude, I've never played a Persona game, so this is like my Persona.
You'll like.
right here.
Yeah, I think it's up your alley.
I got-
genre.
I got the Take Your Heart Premium Edition because it came with a
Good,
cute
good.
plushie and a badge.
Good choice.
So but I also pre-ordered another game, and I pre-ordered it a while ago, and it just came in, and I'm gonna.
Okay.
And I am super excited about it. It's called Blue Reflection. It's a JRPG with magical girls. So it's like my favorite thing ever in a JRPG. So I'm really excited. However, the game is in Japanese, so
Moon Runes.
it's
Do you have English
completely in
subtitles or
Japanese.
anything?
No.
Can you read Japanese?
I can read some of it, but I can understand it because they talk, right?
All right, that's cool.
So I can understand like the conversations, and I can read enough to know what the buttons do. But like it's kind of like sometimes they'll say something and I won't know what they're saying because like or sometimes they'll be like moon runes and I can't really read it because it's like I call them advanced moon runes. Sometimes there's like too many advanced moon runes and I can't understand it. But in general, when they're just like having a conversation, like in the game, it's fully voiced, so I can understand. But it's really a pretty game, and it's by Gust, who made Atelier series.
That's a game you worked on, Shu, wasn't
I
it?
did.
There you go.
I used to work on Gust games a long time ago.
Cool.
It's been quite a while since. Okay.
All right. Well,
All
there
right,
it is.
awesome.
That's the week, guys. So hope you enjoyed that. If you want more, you can stick around for the after show. If you're watching on YouTube, this is all you get.
Too bad.
Later for YouTube.
Peace.
See ya, YouTube.